let's talk a little bit about Shop Financial and the Debt Shredder today. And first of all, guys, follow us, right? Go to Facebook, go to Twitter, follow what we do. Now, did any of you spend any money to get here? Do any of you know someone that potentially has some debt? You guys, after this weekend, your goals should have changed, right? They should go up. So what kind of goals do we have? Any of you like to play golf? Would Hawaii be a nice place? It would be, wouldn't it? So maybe we just want to own a nice car. How about a second home? Any of you like maybe a beach home, a mountain home? Could be. How about college? I've heard that is relatively inexpensive, right? Maybe just a nice vacation every year. You know, maybe you want to take that to every 6 months just to be happy. Have any of you have a goal of maybe getting married? And guys, if you have kids that are getting married, it's a very inexpensive proposition. Maybe all you want to do is own a home, right? Pay it off. But what do our goals do to us? Our goals put us in debt. And you know what we're really good at? Our goals put us in serious debt. So, do you understand what debt does to you? See, most of us could live the life that we dream of if our lenders would explain what debt really does to us. So do you guys really understand what goes on with debt? We're going to cover a little bit of that. So what if you could stop overpaying on the interest? Today, interest rates are really good, aren't they? They're really inexpensive. I mean, you can get stuff at 4, 4.5, 3. That's paying nothing, isn't it? Would your stress level be any different if you had no debt? What if you could wake up tomorrow, next year, 5 years from now, and go, you know, I have no debt whatsoever? Would it change the way you look at things? So, guys, do any of you use a credit card now and then? So here's what the average debt is on a credit card in the US right now. A little over $16,000. How about an average mortgage? $180,000. Student loans. Now see, I find a student loan at a little over $50,000, that seems like a year to me, not total, right? Let's give you an example of what a lot of people do. Would you agree 4.5% is in the range of where a mortgage could be? All right, $200,000 loan, 4.5%, you're going to spend $1,013 a month on that mortgage. We know that in the first year, you are going to pay 73% of the money that you pay for that is going to go to interest. Now that sounds like 4.5%, doesn't it? Yeah. Second year though, guys, it gets better because only $8,700 or 72% of your payments went to interest. Again, fairly fair, right? Because we like lenders. After 20 years, you've borrowed $200,000, you've paid back $243,000. Now, if that was the end, we'd be kind of happy, wouldn't we? The problem is after 20 years, you still owe on principal $97,000. You're only halfway there. By the time we get to 30 years, you've paid back $365,000. So, you know, we gotta pay. They have nice buildings, right? You gotta pay for that. So that we know that you borrowed $200,000, and to borrow it, you had the privilege of giving them back $164,000 extra. Or 82% of what you borrowed, you gave back as interest. That is crazy, right? So, the average American household spends 34.5 cents of every dollar just to service interest. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And you know, we don't look at it. Understand, most of us, do all of us want to get to financial freedom? It's why we do what we do, right? So the unfranchised business is unbelievable in that sense alone, but now you have a tool inside here that will help you accelerate. Look, why don't most of us get to that goal? Are you guys usually busy? Your life's busy, right? We're usually very busy, comfortable enough, we complain a little, that changing something in our life is easy to avoid. Matter of fact, when it comes to financial decisions, we'd rather take the easiest path as opposed to the best. So how do we fix this? Guys, think about it. If you really could get up 5 years from now and have a debt-free life, would it change the way you see things? It would. So we have a couple of options. Guys, you can make more money, and that's one of our goals, isn't it? I want to create a residual income that I can wake up and I'm happy every day. We could refinance. Now, not that that's bad, but you should just know if it's smart. Yep. Debt consolidation. I always find debt consolidation interesting because we take unsecured loans and now let them be secured against something. You could pay biweekly, and does that make sense? It actually will save you some money. But are they the best option? See, guys, what's really nice about everything that Debt Shredder does is it's not too late no matter where you are. How many of you currently use a GPS to get places? Why do you do that? It's smart, and you do not have to think, okay? Why would you not want to use a financial GPS to do the exact same thing? I don't want to think about what I'm doing with my money. I want technology to tell me. So Debt Shredder has the answer. It's the smartest way to save money, reduce your debt, build cash reserves, and accumulate wealth. Is there anything there that you don't want to do? Some of those are okay, right? So technology meets personal finance. It's no longer just for institutions. It employs current banking strategies. Guys, would you agree that technology has changed our world today? Well, it's also changed our world on the way we handle debt and create wealth. You just need to take advantage of it. So here's what I like about what Debt Shredder does. Because look, as adults, we visualize, right? So the dashboard is one of the most interesting things it does, because it's going to give you all the information right here on the dashboard. The nice thing about what we've incorporated into the dashboard right now is if you make the wrong decision, it reaches up out of the screen, grabs you by the shirt. All right, it might not do that. But what it does do is it tells you how much interest that you have left to pay. It tells you how long you'll be done if you follow the instructions. The best thing about it is, guys, when you go out and make financial decisions, do you ever look at how it affects you long term? What if you can make a financial decision and go, my goodness, it impacts my net worth by this much? If you do it, at least you're informed at this point, correct? So here's an actual client. I have a client here, they had 5 total debts: mortgage, car loan, student loan, credit card debt. $192,000 of total debt. They're gonna pay back $362,000 on that. Now, do any of you, seriously, do any of you have debt right now? Mortgages? Okay. Do you realize that you signed a legal document saying, I agree to give you this money? That's what you have done. Debt Shredder here will take this client and be done with everything they do, exact same situation, in 7.3 years. It'll save them. Yeah, they kind of felt the same way. These guys were great. I went in to see them and they said, you do realize we're not buying anything tonight, right? I said, yeah, I'm just here to educate you anyway. I got to this point and the husband goes, how do we get this? I said, I thought you weren't buying anything. And it's crazy because have any of you ever sold something ever in your life? Well, I come from retirement planning. You know, when you ask somebody for referrals about selling them life insurance, how many they want to give you? Do you know when you ask for a referral, if you know anybody else that has debt and would like to get out? They kind of give you people, right? How would you like to cut 21.7 years off your time of paying debt, but better yet, $128,000 of cash back in your pocket? Absolutely. By the way, that $128,000, if the bank takes that, what do they do with it? But they make money on it, right? You guys, if you want a real treat, go Google what a regional bank makes on the money that they get from us. Now, it can't be much because, well, they're pretty generous right now. Well, how much do they pay us in interest right now? Like 15%? I have my decimal point at the wrong place. Yeah, so you might get a half, one. Checking accounts are awesome. Let's go with none. You guys do understand you've been conditioned to do this, right? What if a program can just change? This is what we're all about here, right? Changing the way we've been conditioned. And that's what Debt Shredder will do also. So this guy, this couple, if they invested that money over the next 20 years and they got a 1% rate of return, they have just shy of $1 million in an account. So their choice is, I can be completely debt-free when I get to retirement, or I can be completely debt-free with $1 million. Now, you know that's a tough choice, right? Yeah, they didn't even sit there and think about that. So what I'd like to do right now is introduce you to a couple of people that will explain it. So I have some distributors that use the program, Lisa Brown and Shannon Dinsmore. Lisa, we'll start with you. Why don't you give us a little bit on your background first?
Sure. My name is Lisa Brown Devenuto. I've been a real estate agent for over 32 years. And I have to tell you, this Debt Shredder program is absolutely amazing.
Lisa, can I interrupt you for a second?
Absolutely.
So you have a habit of putting people in debt.
Yes, I do. Been doing it for 32 years.
Well, guys, I think that's interesting because some of the things we do is that now she can help them find a dream home, put them into debt, and show them how to get out quick.
Yes, it's truly exciting and amazing. And I'll just give you a little background on me and my husband. We were hit by Hurricane Irene about 5-6 years ago, and our home was totally flooded. We had a investment property where we have a rental, we live there, and we also work there. We have our offices there. So this was pretty destructive. We got 4 feet of water in the house. We had to totally gut and put $200,000 out of our pocket back into our home. We were in the middle of buying a piece of real estate at the time with cash, so we were in contract with that, and we had to be a little concerned about where the money was going to come from that. Fortunately enough, my mother held the mortgage on the condo we were buying, and we had to move out of our house for almost a year and rebuild. So needless to say, we had to refinance our home. And because we're a mixed-use property, we wanted a fixed-rate mortgage, we did a 15-year loan. And about a year and a half ago, we also bought another investment property that, oddly enough, we had some water damage to that property and had to get more into debt. So we were in debt about $30,000 on our credit cards, and we had to refinance our house for twice what we were at when we were hit by Hurricane Irene. And I will tell you, when we plugged all of this into our program, we were from 14 years to get out of debt down to 6.2.
Pretty horrible, wasn't it?
It was. I don't know how we made it through it, but now we're paying that condo off in another few months. And the interesting thing about this program is that you can literally see what it's going to do for you. So we're plugging in that extra income to see now it's going to bring us down to 5 years to get out of debt.
So how quickly, and guys, understand there's a cost for Debt Shredder. So how quickly did it pay for itself?
First year. Paid for itself for us. We're business owners. It paid for us the first year. I do have customers that it's paid for within 2 to 3 years, depending on the customer.
Well, pay out the initial cost?
The initial cost based on interest that they saved.
Okay. Okay. Shannon, tell us a little bit about you.
I'm Shannon Dinsmore. We also own the Debt Shredder. And the Debt Shredder, when we plugged our numbers in, well, we're really good at creating debt.
You're probably one of the minority, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
very few people create
Yeah.
debt.
We, like everybody else, refinanced. So we had 28 years to pay off our mortgage. And we plugged our numbers into the Debt Shredder. And it amazed me that it was going to save us $200,000. And we would pay our mortgage and all the debt along with it in 7.3 years.
Wow.
It was really amazing.
So I'm going to interrupt you for a second because I love talking to you about this, because Shannon told me even though we do okay financially, we have no discretionary money. How many of you guys spend all of your money?
Right.
Well, that's what she thought. Now, did that change at all?
That did change. We thought we had no discretionary money, and we took a couple days and researched and pulled all our numbers together, everything. We plugged it in, and we were pleasantly surprised we had a lot more left over at the end of the month than we thought.
It's amazing where money hides.
Yeah.
You got to look under your pillow.
Pillow,
Right, it's
rocks in the front yard,
Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, dinner's out.
Starbucks.
How quickly did it pay off for you?
Oh, ours is within months, probably about 5 months.
Yep.
Very no-brainer. We bought the program.
Yeah. Would you suggest they look at it? People should look at Debt Shredder?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even when you think that you have no discretionary income, look at it again and just you find money.
Do you know it's even when you think, because my background's finance, I can do it myself. That might not be true either.
No.
Yeah.
Not true.
Guys, please give them a hand.
Thank you,
Thank
Charlie.
So I can tell you, client after client that I bump into, I get the same result. Who I can't help is somebody that has no discretionary income. But I found, just like Shannon, when she said, I have no discretionary income, sometimes we don't know where we spend our money. Now, I know you're not like that. You keep track of everything. Yeah. So, how would you like to be able to take care of this with little to no alteration to your current standard of living? I really am not looking for you to refinance unless it makes sense. I don't want to consolidate. I want to let a software program direct you to getting out of debt and creating wealth. Would that be smarter for you? So there's 4 strategies. One is interest cancellation, strategic payoff, time value of money, and of course the software and coaching that you get. So what does the actual program tell us? Well, it is looking on how much money to move. Guys, what it won't do is tell you to stop paying your debt, right? Everything will stay exactly the same with some alterations to help you achieve quicker. Now, I know some of you guys will already know this, but you do realize what's the average person have in debt? How many debts do you think? 5 or 6, right? Would you believe it's about 13? 5 plus 6, okay. So just so you understand why the average person will never do this, if you have 1 debt, there is 1 mathematical combination to pay it off. If you have 5 debts, how many do we have? 5? No, 120 combinations. How many of you will sit down every single month, look at 120 mathematical combinations, and then pick the 5 fastest? No. So it tells you how much money to move, the exact dollar amount. It tells you when to move it, because timing is interesting, right? Any of you have a mortgage that's due the 1st of the month, but they give you to the 15th? Do you have that free for 15 days? See, we're out there going, yeah, no, we're not completely sure, are we? It tells you the exact date you should pay it. It tells you from what account to move the money while it adjusts to your life. That means if your income goes down, you've got downsized, it adjusts. If your income goes up because you're about to hit director, it goes up, right? But it's going to find the quickest solution to zero debt. So it doesn't just stop with that, guys. Some of the things it'll do is it'll evaluate, like when I went to buy a car, it allowed me to put in my finance options, and it tells me how each one impacts me. But wouldn't it be nicer to not guess? Just before I left to come down here, I had a potential client call me, and the analysis is free. He's looking to buy a car. He wanted to know how it was going to impact him. And it took his time to zero debt. He was going to borrow the money for 7 years. It took his time to zero debt, extended it by 1.1 year. Is it an easy way to make a decision? It is. It's much easier. The analysis is free, guys. If you don't understand what Debt Shredder is, get the analysis done. Eliminating debt is just the beginning, because ultimately, what do we want to do? We want to create wealth, right? You don't want to get to retirement and hope Social Security's there, because we can look at the numbers and go, maybe not. So here's your next step. If you are not an agent, we have an event special. Code 6091 ES. We know what that stands for, right? Event special. If anybody still here from Canada, then put a C in front of it. C6091. It's $50 instead of $100. You can run your own analysis. You should, up on the concourse, you can visit our booth if you have questions. Just stop and ask. Go to our Facebook agent support page and look at the link that we have. We do trainings every Monday night. And we do them for customers, and we do actual training for unfranchised owners. Leverage the program, guys. It can increase. How would you like a relatively high retail profit and okay BV? $1,400 a retail profit, 600 BV. It's not bad, right? I am telling you, if you do not understand what this is and you want to learn more, go to shopfinancial.com. Fill out the calculate savings, and if you're not an agent, we'll actually run a free analysis for you. There won't be an issue whatsoever. What I'm telling you guys is you need to experience Debt Shredder. If we can eliminate your debt over the next 5, 10, 12 years, you will feel much differently, unless you want to help your bank look pretty. Anyway, guys, check it out. Thank you.